Shadows crawling in the bright daylight, voices twisted, feeding us the blight, telling stories that were never true. We fight to break on through. Lies are woven like a velvet chain, a slick with power driving us insane. But the fire burns deep within our chests. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make our mark. They call us rebels, say we've lost our way, but freedom's blood, it fuels the fray. From the ashes comes a brighter light. We fight with all our might. See resolve in the roaring storm, breaking cages will rewrite the norm. No more silence, no more disguise. We fight with open eyes. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make our mark. We fight, we make our mark.
You don't dare!
Yes, you have a knife.
You don't! Hey, I'm fucking wealthy! You're fucking bad and
Why you
catch me.
fucking with us?
You're fucking cat bastard!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Get
Show
the
the knife.
fuck away from us!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch her!
That's
Touch
it,
me,
that's
do whatever
it.
you
Show
want
the
to
knife.
do. Don't touch my little sister!
Show the knife. That's it.
Don't fucking touch my little sister! She ain't fucking 12! Wait till I fucking catch you! She's fucking 12 and you just battered me, mate! Wait till I fucking catch me!
Yeah, show the knife. Maracha.
Don't touch her, do it to me! Don't touch her! You don't dare!
Sorry to shock you guys tonight. I know that wasn't fun to watch, but if you haven't seen that video, it's all over and it's important. We're going to talk about why tonight. That is how bad things are getting in the UK. So wild stuff. And I want to talk about tonight, guys, how blessed we are. We are turning it around because culture that could have been us. That could have been us. We could be where they're at right now, where immigrants are overrunning their cities, their entire country. Nobody's protecting them. There's no men being men anymore. These poor girls, 13-year-old girls, walking around with knives and axes to protect themselves because it's so bad. So I know it's shocking. I don't usually like to start with stuff, especially with language and everything, but sometimes you just got to show how crazy it is. And we're going to talk about, we're winning right now, but we got one shot at this, guys. One shot. And it's always good to remind ourselves how bad it could have been. And so that's where we're going to start tonight. But first, welcome to the Ace Report. Hope you guys are doing well. Love you guys. Good to see you all tonight. Blessings to all of you. And listen, before we start, if you don't mind hitting that like, share, subscribe. We are winning. Okay. I didn't mean to be a Debbie Downer at the beginning. We are winning a lot. And I'm going to talk about a lot of the winning today. Trump had a cabinet meeting today. We are going to spend a lot of time on because it's very important. A lot of the things that were shared in that meeting, but we got to remember where we could have ended up in order to remember we have to make sure this works. So it is a crazy time to be alive, and I'm so blessed we're alive. I'm blessed we're at a time of the crossroads where our country chose the right path to get back on it before descending into the chaos that is in other places. So before we get started, like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Repost if you're on X. Join if you want. Free link in the description. Become a part of the Patreon for free for the first month. Get members' lives for free and Discord access, which is good right now, especially if you are in the stock market. Our stock guys are working overtime in that Discord with great information. So it's a great place to be, very much worth the value of being free. So let's give some shout outs here. I'm going to shout out over here. Rumble is numero uno tonight. I got Nels over on Rumble. What's going on, buddy? Yeah, no shadow banning over there. And thanks for watching on Rumble, guys. I know there's not a lot of you, but I greatly appreciate you guys over there. Someday, if Rumble grows and if Rumble would actually promote my show. So here's what's frustrating about Rumble. YouTube shadow bans my show, which sucks. So I can't, I'm growing like molasses slow on YouTube. Rumble doesn't shadow ban, doesn't ban, but it doesn't promote anything. Like the only way you find stuff on Rumble is to go looking. There's no algorithm on Rumble that's any good. So no matter where I'm at, I'm stuck, but it's okay because eventually the dream would be to have my full show mostly streaming on Rumble so that I wouldn't be banned. But the platform over there is still way behind YouTube. So YouTube peeps, what's going on? Frank Anastasio, the OGs are here on YouTube. Wago Waco, what's going on? US1, Barefoot by DC, Lyricals in the house tonight. BN Pro, HB 1984. What's up, brother? Rum Talk, here he is. Randy Atwell, Linda Telly, Big JR, member for 2 years. Dude, no way. 2 years? JR, we've known each other that long? Bro. I'm sad we haven't met up in person. We got to change that. We need to have a meetup. I've been thinking about this. I mean, I know most of you guys aren't going to fly out. I don't blame you. I'm just a guy on YouTube. But for those who are maybe in the vicinity, I really want to try to figure out a meetup in person here in NC in the next few months. Phil Haynes, what's going on? He's in the live report. I've missed you, Phil. It's good to see you. Diana Pants, wow, welcome back. It's been so long. Great to have you back. One Love, Blue 5. By the way, how many YouTubers, and I don't even really like calling myself a YouTuber, but how many people doing these shows calls out the folks and remembers you guys? Huh? Yeah, so that's what makes me different. I love, this is all about the community here as well as the news. Mark R, what's going on? Diana with the $20 donation. Holy cow. Thank you, Diana. That is so sweet of you. Very, very appreciated. Very blessed. You know, so I don't know if I've told you guys this, but next week is my family vacation. It's the biggest vacation we've taken in 5 years. Been saving up and was able to finally save up enough over the last couple of years to take my kids to Disney World. Now, my little one just turned 6 today. It's her birthday. So I'm very excited to take them. We're going to have a blast. So next week, we're driving down to Florida, taking them there. So your donation is at the perfect time because I'm broke. I am broke. So it is the perfect time. So now I get to maybe have fries with my burger at Disney World. So thank you so much, Diana. I'm very blessed by that. Cooper's Human says YouTube is mad suppressing you. He had to deep search to find me. They hate me. They hate me. And it got even worse after I shared that climate report. My views have been down. They don't like what I share over here. But you know what? They're not flat out censoring anymore because Trump's in office, but they're making sure it's hard to find me. It is what it is. So, you know, it is what it is. It's okay. It's part of the game. It's just, you know, if you're going to tell the truth, if you're not going to pay to play bots and ads, which I do not do, You just stagnate, and that's okay. You know, I'm growing slow, but the people who are here are true believers. You guys are awesome. You guys have been amazing to me. And so I'm going to just keep showing up for you guys, because it's not about being big. I don't care about that. If I could be full time doing this, that would be a dream. I would stream 6 to 8 hours a day. I'm not even kidding you guys. I would cover so much live stuff, but you know, that's not in the cards, and that's okay. That's okay. I have a great life. I love my wife, my kids. I'm blessed with good work, and then I still get to hang out with you guys most nights, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing. So, but it is what it is. So I deal with that. JR says we've known each other longer than 2 years. You're right. It's probably closer to 2.5 now, right? Yeah, because I didn't start the membership. So anyways, JR, bro, that's a long time. Bad monkey, no banana. Gorilla fart. Okay, well, that's new, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Mark R. Have Ace Holer. Happy 6th birthday, my daughter. She's very blessed. Moody, what's going on? Canada in the house tonight. I bet the Canadians have even more trouble finding me than the Americans do on YouTube, because Canada has all kinds of different crazy rules. So, all right. Well, let's get into it. Shogun's sick. I'm sorry, Shogun. Blessings to you. Hope you get better, brother. That's no bueno. Okay, let's get moving. I know you guys didn't just come over to hear me rant and hang out. So what's up, Big B? Shogun, my family just got over a summer cold and they coughed like crazy. I'm very blessed. I barely got it, but not fun. There's a lot going around, and a bunch of people are getting COVID. I don't know. It just never goes away. Okay, so let's get back to where I was going to talk about tonight. So let's start with this, because, hey, Christina Abbott, God bless you. Good to see you. So this video, it came out yesterday and it's been going around. And honestly, I honestly wasn't going to talk about it first, but today some other stuff came out, and I just got to thinking. I had a lot of time thinking today. There wasn't much news, so I didn't listen to a lot of podcasts today, and I instead listened to music, and instead it gave me a lot of thinking time. And I really was meditating a lot today and thinking a lot on culture and the importance of culture. And, I've said it before, but Breitbart said that politics is downstream of culture, and culture is ultimately what saves a nation, what directs a nation. James Madison famously, I think it was John Madison, it might have been Adams, but one of the founding fathers said, basically our government that we created, our country we created, is only right and sustainable so long as it's a morally and religious people. And that's not the exact words, but that's what he said. Basically, a Christian nation is what they created. Okay, they never used those words back then because to them, everybody was Christian. Everybody was Christian. That's all they knew. The Germans were Christians, the English were Christian, the Spanish were Christians, the French, everybody in America was Christian. Okay, and to them, religion was different denominations. And so that's what they argued about. And so when they put in freedom of religion, they were talking about it's cool if you're a Methodist, a Quaker, a Baptist, a Catholic. We don't care. But they didn't mean, they never in a million years thought we'd become a nation with 20% Islam or 20% Hindu. They never thought that. So, and it's not their fault. They just, that was their worldview back then. And they knew, though, that if the nation ever turned away from God, if it ever turned away from its morality, we'd lose who we are. And what have we seen in the last few years? We've watched as our culture kept turning away from God. We became more secular, more humanistic. I don't even necessarily like the word secular, but we became more humanist, which means basically a follower of pleasure, okay? Because humanist is all about what can I get now? There's no hope for the future because they're usually atheists. There's no thought of eternity. There's no thought of bettering society. It's just what's there for me now. And we became this society that, even though most of us were still Christian, we started living like that. And then we started the floodgates open and everybody's okay. Listen, I don't believe in banning any religion. That's not what I'm getting at. But I do believe that we have a responsibility to keep promoting our culture, which is a culture based on Christian values, like it or not. The single, like the home of father, mother, and kids, you know, the nuclear family, that was a Christian value. That's what we were built on. Valuing life, Christian value. And that goes across lots of stuff, you know, whether it's the abortion stuff or whether it's workers' rights, you name it. It's like human life is valuable. And even the founders put it in there, you know, man created by God, one nation under God, all this stuff. It was an idea that we have souls. Okay. We have souls. And the problem with culture, and this is what a lot of the atheists don't understand, because there are good people, or I consider them good people who still are on like the conservative side of things and are fighting for values, even if they're not Christian. But I will tell you this, they always miss the point of where it came from. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there criticize religion and everything and faith, but they don't understand that the culture given to them came from that. You know, Europe was Christian. There's a whole mess of stuff over there. Don't get me wrong, but it was still the most civilized area in the world. And then it came here and it got even better because we opened up freedom, that aspect of it. And it's just been progressing, and like everything else, we have not evolved physically in DNA, but we've evolved in our thinking and our growth and our understanding of stuff. And modernity has brought a more peaceful time for the most part. And there's really only one culture in the world that you can look at that works culturally without much religion, and that is Japan, which is very interesting in and of itself. But what do they have in Japan? They're so strict to the law that, and strict with how they act and everything, that they have one of the highest suicide rates in the world because the pressure is so much. But on the outside, it looks great. So all that to say is how much culture matters. And we see what's happened in the UK now, where they've completely thrown apart their culture, which is funny because in the UK, a lot of them would still call themselves Christian, even though they don't care about God at all or anything like that. But that's because it's a state religion over there. It's many nations still in Europe still have a state religion, so they consider themselves Christian because they're just born into it. They don't really know what it means or anything. They just claim that. But here we're seeing, I mean, this girl is I think 14 years old. I think I said 13 earlier. She's 14. And in the UK right now, they have immigrated all these people in so much. These people who have no culture except for rape and pillage. That is their culture. These are third world people who, dirt poor. They're either Islamic or a-religious, and they just, all they care about is getting what they can get. And the UK has said, do it. The UK government has put a stamp of approval on it. And I've already told you guys that rapes are up 10 times in the last 20 years in the UK. And most of it is teenage girls. And in the UK, you cannot defend yourself. The men cannot defend them. The men have grown weak. This culture has completely lost what it means to be a man and protect your kids, protect your wife. It's disgusting. And so this girl, it's at the point now, and this girl is just showing to us how bad it's gotten, that she literally is walking around with a knife. It looked like a cleaver knife and an axe. And as soon as these immigrants got close to her, talking to her, like catcalling her, she busts them out. And then it's like, as disgusting as it gets, she got arrested. Can you imagine a culture that values its children, its daughters, so little that they would allow a girl like this to be bullied, to be just sexually approached, messed with, to the point where they arrest her over the immigrants who are harassing her? It's disgusting. And it makes you wonder, I mean, how bad did it get for that girl to do that? Has she already been a victim? Maybe even multiple times? Or has she just got friends who are victims? Which is it? She just read the news all the time and is terrified? Whatever it is, to get to that point, you live in a state of perpetual terror. Do you know what that does to your immune system? And you know what it does to your psyche growing up? Now, an entire generation of girls in the UK are growing up like this. It is disgusting. It is heartbreaking. I have 4 girls myself. They walk freely around. They don't know anything like this in the USA. Now, maybe they would if they lived in, South Chicago, but that's not where we live. The point is it's in very few pockets of America where people live. And honestly, it's not even that bad compared to what they're living through. It's bad, but not in the same way. And I just can't fathom how a culture can get to that point where it hates its own people so much it would do that. But guys, I'm telling you, we weren't that far off. If Kamala Harris had won, we were just a few years away from this. And it should be sobering to everybody watching how close we could get, because this is happening in the real world. This is happening in Western society. We're not immune. We just woke up quick enough to say no. There's still enough spirit here in America to say no. And I do believe a lot of it has to do with the fact that America, as bad as it got, still never went below 60% of Americans saying, we choose Jesus. And that might upset some of you. Some of you might roll your eyes, but I'm telling you, if you look at every single country in the world, what differentiates America more than any other country is the fact that we are the majority Christian nation who have been that way from the beginning since we fought back. And that's just a fact. And we wrote a constitution that secured those rights from that belief system. And we've only tried to get better since for most places, except for when, the corruption, leadership stuff. But the people, for the most part, have tried. I believe prayer saved us. Prayer saved us and the inability to lose our culture now. But now, this is why I say the biggest battle we won in 2024 was we won the culture again. We said no. We said, you're not going to trans our kids. We said, you're not going to teach them disgusting sexuality stuff at a young age. We said, you're not going to call us racist anymore. We said, you're not selling us out to other countries anymore. You are not importing people across the border anymore who haven't paid a price to be a citizen here. You're not doing it. We said no. We said we're tired of being laughed at for being traditional. We're tired of being laughed at for having morality. We're tired of you saying that it's disgusting to be a man or it's disgusting to be white. We're tired of that. We don't care about color. You guys made about color. We're sick of it. We're not standing for any of it. And that's what we chose. That's why Trump won. So many people have, when asked why they voted for Trump, a lot of them can't speak to anything else other than the fact that they were just tired of the other side. The other side went too far. And that's how they pushed us too far. And look at the changes already happening. Pride Month was barely anything this summer. The riots never broke out this summer. The movies this summer were not woke. I was shocked. I enjoyed them. I saw 3 movies this summer. I saw Superman, Fantastic Four, and F1. All 3 of them thoroughly enjoyable, not woke at all. They were just fun. Hero movies about good people. And they actually allowed the heroes to be white. It was incredible. And again, I don't care about color. I'm just sick about it pushed in my face over everything. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. And it's over now. We're moving forward. We won. But we were this close to be this. Now, this girl, I think, is a hero. And I hope and pray that the UK raises up and sees her and uses this as a rallying cry, because we're better. The world can be better if they stop this. I think Trump's going to thoroughly destroy the globalists and weaken them. But the people in these countries have a choice of whether they'll let themselves be ruled by weak, globalist, socialist, crazy people, or if they'll allow, as they're getting weaker and weaker, take the opportunity to take their countries back. That's up to them. That's up to you Canadians. God bless you guys. I know you guys have it rough too. It's not this bad yet, but it's bad. It's your guys' economy is a shambles right now. I feel so blessed to be an American watching what's going on in the rest of the Western world. But the fact is we are moving forward, and it's an opportunity for everybody else too. And I hope this works as a rallying cry. I mean, look at this. I mean, she is getting some treatment here. Look at, I mean, this beautiful picture. I put it up on my thing, but it's so cool. But I mean, and it's not cool. You saw her face. She's terrified. It's just a little girl, and it's horrible. But at least something good can come out of this. And I hope people use stuff like this and use it to rally themselves. And then I'm going to share one other story one more time, just to show like how sick things have gotten in the UK. But this is actually, this is in Pakistan, but this just shows you like how culture just doesn't work with us. As a woman was raped, instead of arresting the rapist, a Sharia council decided rapist's sister should be raped by the victim's brother. So the innocent teenage girl publicly raped in front of 40 people on a revenge rape. So, I mean, this stuff's shocking, and it's important to remember why, because this can happen. This is in the Daily Mail. Guys, this could be us. It could be here if we hadn't said no. But here's the deal. We have to keep our foot on the gas. We cannot stop. Now that Trump's in, it's not time to check out. It's not time to say, oh, things are okay now. No, it's time to double down and say, how can I be a part of doing something to help? Even if it's small, even if it's just teaching your kids or grandkids more intentioned values, more intentioned education about politics and culture and why it's important, values, why they're important. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all you're called to do, and that's fine. But everybody needs to do something, because we all do something. What happened is, when things were good, Americans just chilled out and we all pursued our own path. And we thought things were going to be fine. We trusted our leadership to do the job, and we didn't do enough. We let our kids be raised by public school and colleges, and TV. We gave our children to those things. We pursued careers instead of community. And not that there's anything wrong with a career, but when that becomes your end all be all, the world falls apart, because then anything comes about is me, me, me. My promotion, my vacation, my job, my money. What did we tell women starting in the 60s and 70s? Go into the workplace, find a career, wait for a family. Not that there's anything wrong with women having careers. I'm all for that. But when you put a career above family, even fathers, when you put a career above family, you lose both. Because a career can only be good for so long. It eventually leaves. Nobody on their deathbed says, hey, I wish I'd done more for my career. No, everybody on their deathbed says, I wish I'd seen more of my kids. I wish I'd been more intentional with them. I wish I'd spent more time with friends. I wish I'd traveled. Every single one. Go study people on their deathbed sometimes and what they say and what they regret. It is eye-opening. And it's all about family and friends and experiences. It's never about money. It's never about money. So just remember, like, all these little things they pump into us to make us think these are good things. They actually, it's not that they're bad, but it's that they pumped them up to us so much and built it up to in our culture so much that it became the only thing. And we lost everything else. So with all that said, guys, let's get to we're going to get to some wins here. Let me catch up in the comments real quick though first. I see a lot of comments in here. Brad Montgomery reminding everybody, if you've been watching, please like and subscribe. Thank you. I got Rum Dog and Linda Telly both close to Disneyland. Man, I don't know if I'll have time, but maybe we all could meet up and say hey at least. Man, that'd be awesome. Moody says, I like that girl. The knife goes in the front, axe goes on the top. Good girl. And take them out. Rum Dog says, I believe Obama is paying visit to European leaders after his term to spread globalism ideas. Oh, he worked for him. It's the globalists are their main headquarters in the UK. So Moody says, we're getting closer in Canada every day. They'll never get my pew pews. I love it. One Love says, we were literally a hell's door at Trump not won. Amen to that. It's absolutely right. Rum Dog says, the people who say we can't be isolationists are the ones who want no borders and for us to lose our identity. 100%. 100%. Brett says, California loves Jesus, Hector, and Salvatore. It's a sanctuary state. I know, it's true. And California has a lot of Christians there too, man. What's up, John Cresson? What's up, Roger Gofulf Rittenhouse? That's right. Lochtefeld and Q Alerts over on Rumble. What's up, guys? Lochtefeld says U.S. citizens donated 25,000 private firearms to the UK from 1940 to 1942. Wow. I had no idea. That's crazy. They destroyed all those guns, though? Jeez, the UK. That's sick. Shane Jansen says there are more to the video. Not that I know of. It was a... it was obviously the immigrant was filming her. I think that's all there was, but she did get arrested after. So, GDC, yeah. I haven't been looking at it. I'll have to take a look. All right, guys. Let's get to some of the wins here just to see how we're doing. So Trump had a cabinet meeting today, and it was fan-freaking-tastic. By the way, he's had 7 cabinet meetings so far this year. Do you know how many Joe Biden had in his entire first term? 6. Trump is a busy man. Let's get to some of the stuff that dropped at this. It was really, really great stuff. So here, there's a story. This woman shares her story of being in D.C. and how it's impacted her, the National Guard being there. Let me play this story for you guys.
Well, thank you, Mr. President.
You want to listen to this?
For having me here to share my story to the room and to the broader public. My name is Iris Tao. I'm a White House correspondent for NTD, the sister media of the Epoch Times. So more than 2 years ago, it was a Saturday morning in broad daylight. I was on my way to work, and a young man with a black ski mask pointed a gun at my face and threatened me to hand over my phone, my wallet, my laptop, and everything else. And when I refused, he used the butt of his handgun to strike me across the face, in the cheek, or what some people call pistol whip me, before running away. And that has deeply traumatized myself and my family. Ever since, I've never dared to walk in the street of DC at night, ever. And my family was extremely worried. So, Mr. President, thank you so much for what you're doing right now.
Thank you for being honest.
Such incidents involve not just me, but also my family. If he had shot me, I could have died right there in the middle of nowhere without my families or my friends knowing at the age of back then, I think 23.
Right.
Just starting my career here in DC without even starting a family. Right now, I'm very blessed to have this opportunity.
So you had
Pretty amazing stuff. This woman, her experience, and but that just shows you like what Trump's doing. I mean, he's winning people over with this. So we're getting that. It looks like he's planning to try to go to Chicago next, which is going to piss out of a lot of people. But the fact is that the people are on the side of this. They might not like it at first, the idea of it, but once they see the results, people are on the side of it. Trump is ending crime. Now, the Democrats, one way they've kept power for all these years is by allowing crime to go rampant in their cities, because when the people are terrified, they can keep making promises to them over and over and over again, what the government's going to do for them. And it's just one of their tactics. And Trump is putting an end to it. And once people understand, when you've been living in nonstop trauma and nonstop fear for years and years and years, you get a little bit of Stockholm syndrome. And you stop remembering what it's actually like to live outside of that. Now, I believe most of us, especially in my generation, all have that a little bit. And the reason why is we've never known a great era of America. We just haven't. I grew up in 83. Now, I'm not saying the 90s weren't great, and the 80s to an extent, but I was so young. I didn't know it as an adult. I didn't know it in a career. By the time I was 18, 9/11 happened. 9/11 happened right before I turned 18. And after that, it was war nonstop. Right from there into the financial crisis, lasted for many years, especially for me who was in California. We started coming out of it with Trump. I finally started seeing a good economy, a good, an exciting America with hope again. COVID hit. And then I lived through COVID. And then COVID with, and then the inflation era after that, and this fake good economy, this good economy with low unemployment and a record-breaking stock market where none of us can afford anything. We can't afford a house, can barely afford, food every month, live paycheck to paycheck. I'm 41 and I still live paycheck to paycheck. Very few people in my generation know what it's like to live in a thriving America. And maybe some of them feel that way because they were able to get $1 million jobs or something like that. So they live above the mess. But most of us here in the middle, we don't know what it's like to thrive. We have times of thriving, a couple months here and there, but we've never seen a stretch of even 5 to 10 years of just being able to keep moving forward, grow our assets, build something, and have a life. It's always living on the edge. And there's a sort of Stockholm syndrome to that. It's like, I don't even know what I'm missing. I've read about it. I've heard about it. I see the statistics, but I don't know what it's like. I've never experienced it. And that's what it's like. And I don't know what decisions I've made from that. I have a great anger. I know that. I get angry at the other side of government, and that's why I'm such a huge Trump supporter, because I'm angry for my country and I'm angry for my life and my kids' lives. I am, and I'm fighting for that. And that some of that's good. Maybe I've been able to channel it into healthy things. But the fact is, many of these people in these cities, they've lived under constant terror of shootings, robberies, lootings, rapes for years now. And you get to the point where you can't think clearly. And it's just more of the same. And you just start zoning out through life and keep checking that blue box because guess what? The red side is racist. And you just hope it'll get better, but you don't even really know what better is. You just kind of accept it. There's a sickness in it, but it happens because it happens to trafficking victims. Once hope is gone, they accept it. They accept their life. This is why if you're rescued from human trafficking, it takes years to rehabilitate these people. It's all a psychological battle. And all of us have been under it for decades. And it just progressively got worse and worse and worse until COVID hit. And that was supposed to be the final thing, but Trump, the great victory of Trump's first term, it's not so much policy. I mean, he got tax cuts, he started building the wall, he did slow down immigration. There were some wins, don't get me wrong. Got the economy better before COVID. There were some wins. But it was nothing like this one. But the great win of the first Trump term is it gave us all hope. It gave us all hope that if we fight, we can win. If we fight, we can have our country back. He showed us there are possibilities we had forgotten about or never believed were possible. He showed us it was possible to live in America where we're not at war all the time. He showed us oil prices could go back down. All the stuff we've been told were impossible. He showed us it was. And that, my friends, was the big victory of Trump term one. And that's how we endured Biden. And that's how we now are in this place where we're winning hugely. And so this is an idea representative of that. And as cities get safer, and these people who are like, don't bring them in, don't, I'm scared of the National Guard, the Democrats are telling me Trump's authoritarian. Well, Trump brings them in and everything gets safe. They're going to think, oh my God, this is not normal. I don't have to be afraid of walking out at night anymore. I don't have to carry my gun to the store anymore. What is happening? And they'll start changing. And that's going to be a massive shock to the Democrats. A couple other things here. Secretary Kennedy spoke, and not only are they getting ready to ban the COVID vaccine outright, RFK said that they found a link to autism, and they're going to be releasing it in September. But it says, biggest moment came, I'm going to read these because I don't have time to do all the clips tonight. There's a lot of clips. Trump asked him about a crisis impacting family. He said, Bobby, autism is such a tremendous horse show. What's happening in our country, some other countries? How are we doing on that? We're doing very well. We have announcements promised in September. We're finding interventions, certain interventions that now are clearly almost certainly causing autism. And we're going to address them in September. And Trump, it's such a big day. I'm looking forward to that day because there's something wrong when you see the kind of numbers you have today versus 20 years ago. And now currently 1 out of 12 and a half boys is getting autism. So we're close to getting a win on that. And that'll be one of the biggest wins ever, guys, honestly, for the health of our country and our children. But we're really close to that. There's a couple others here. Let's see here. Tulsi Gabbard. So she's says, Mr. President, you've charged me with the mission of finding the truth. And it says Gabbard's team recovered unburned burn bags stuffed with classified material tied to 2020 election. Asked when the public would see them. And Trump says, you found many more elections. When will that come out? Gabbard, Mr. President, I'll be the first to brief you once we have that information collected. Guys, they know it. They know what they got. Led by people like John Brennan, James Clapper, others causing measurable harm to the people in our country. So they're going to be dropping a lot more Russiagate and 2020 election stuff. I'm telling you. This meeting is massive. I don't know how much time you guys have. I don't know how interested you are. But if you really want to hear the whole breakdown of all this, it's worth going to YouTube, typing in Trump cabinet meeting, and just listening to it, listening to them go through it. Because A, they all like each other. There's great things going on there. But B, the wins that these people are getting stuff done unlike we've ever seen in our old, in our modern day country. Then JD Vance, talking about jobs, says all the net job growth under Biden administration gone to the foreign born. Now that net job growth is going to American citizens. We inherited the largest peacetime deficit in the history of the United States. We're getting hundreds and trillions of dollars now. So he goes through all that, and then Besant drops this. Oh, sorry guys. Besant says we're pulling in 500, up to 500 billion. We're on pace to get almost 500 billion in tariffs, possibly $1 trillion a year in the next couple of years. And the budget deficit is down 26% from Biden's last year. 26% in 1 year, guys, of a budget deficit is massive. The Biden administration, they were like drunken sailors, what they spent. It was absolutely crazy. And Trump had to come into that and clean it up, which is very hard because once the spending goes into law, it's very hard to pull back, as we've been seeing. They've already cut it down 26%. And then, of course, he mentioned that the CBO has mentioned that up to $4 trillion will be collected over the next decade, which negates all of the deficit they said would be raised by the one big beautiful bill. So just important stuff. Huge wins, in my opinion. Let me go here real quick. Trump announced General Motors moving back to the U.S. Another huge win. 14,000 new jobs. General Motors moving manufacturing back. I mean, they said it wouldn't happen. All the critics, no, tariffs aren't going to work. This is huge. One of the biggest companies in the U.S., one of the most well-known, time-honored countries or companies bringing its manufacturing back to our shores. Absolutely huge. Since Trump came in, 84,000 federal jobs terminated since January, and over 500,000 private sector jobs. Do you know they were between the federal government hiring and the immigrants coming in, they were pushing those numbers up by the millions. So it's kind of a miracle that the unemployment hasn't just soared up since all that stopped, because the Fed's been going down. But this is private capital now is creating jobs. Just absolutely huge. I see a couple of comments. Hold on real quick. Moody says, no, it's worse than Stockholm Syndrome. It's half the Canadian population is Ottawa Syndrome. Destroying your country. I mean, I feel you. I know it's true. Moody, I'm so glad to hear it. She says Trump's winning is spreading to Canada and inspiring them. Alice Fordham says, without the crime statistic of blue cities in my state, we'd rank as one of the safest places to live. Oh, I believe it. It's the cities absolutely are bad, not the rural areas. Where do you live, Alice, by the way, just if you don't mind sharing? I'll share that another time. I don't have time for it. It's just funny interactions with the press. Trump announces the trade deficit already been cut into half. I didn't even think we could do that, he says. Just huge. People said the trade deficits don't matter. Tariffs won't work. Already seeing just absolutely huge stuff. J.D. Vance, I'll let him say this because this is just good. This is going to be a big talking point going into the next election.
I happen to believe that maybe the most sacred thing that we can deliver to American workers is the ability to live safely and comfortably in their own neighborhoods. Public safety is not just something that should belong to the wealthy. It should belong to every working man and woman in the United States of America. And because of the work of this administration, that is happening. And of course, Mr. President, you yourself talk.
So good. Public safety should not just be for the wealthy. You know, Democrats used to say this stuff. They did. And the MAGA movement's completely taken that away from them. Because the Democrats are out there cheering for more crime. They just don't want any of this to happen. It's the craziest thing. They just keep, and we're gonna cover that in a second, but Uncle Andy says, I think Trump's winning might spread all over the world. Get on board or get left behind. Amen, brother. Oh, and Alabama. Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe Alabama's safe in the rural areas. Brett reminds everybody, please like and subscribe. Thank you, Brett. You are a great moderator, man. You're doing a good job. All right, and then Trump had to bash Biden at the end. So, you know, his Biden bashing is always so good. Let's just listen to the whole thing here.
Okay, you know what I think? I think this. You have not had this happen for 4 years. You sat and you'd ask one question to Biden, and it was always the ice cream question, right? What flavor ice cream do you like?
The ice cream question?
I like vanilla. And that was the end of the conference. I think now we've done enough. These people are very busy. I want to just thank, this is the greatest, this has never been done before. First of all, a cabinet meeting was sacred. You'd never let the fake news media in. But the fake news media isn't all fake. It's, a lot of it is, but it's not all. I think it's a great thing. I think maybe it's going to be done in the future. I hope it's going to be done. But you really get the word out. I mean, we had, each one of these people spoke. I think each one, if I thought one of them did badly, I would call that person out. I would say, Christy, what the heck are you doing? No, but no, seriously, you have a very talented group of people. They get along, they work along together. And there's something really nice about just, you know, the openness of what we're doing. It's government. It's an open government. That's what we are. And we haven't made too many mistakes. Maybe we'll, but we haven't made too many mistakes. We've called it right. And I think you can be very proud of your country. We are a respected country again. We are really, right now, respected at the highest level, and we're doing great. And
I love it so much. It's so good. Just so funny, but you can tell the love of all those guys. I mean, it's incredible stuff. It's absolutely incredible stuff. You can tell like just how they're working together. I don't think I've ever seen this before. And I've been watching politics very closely since the Clinton administration. I know I was young, but I was a junkie. And we just have never seen this before, where the cabinet, they all respect each other. They all are submissive to him, but in a good way, as like a respectful leader kind of way. But just great stuff. So good. And so, but this is how it's working out for the Democrats. So right now, the Democratic Party just got told it's being forced to pay off the debt of Kamala Harris' expensive failed campaign, along with Joe Biden's legal bills. So listen to this. They are just falling apart.
The morning after Kamala Harris lost last November. The problem that he is facing is that the depression among Democrats is really there, and he has a lot of both mental and literal debts that he has to be paying at the DNC. There's been a lot of problem with fundraising, a lot of Democrats who are not willing to put the money there, and also millions of debt from Kamala Harris's campaign that I get into in the story up on our site that has never really been reported before exactly what happened.
I mean, look at that.
And even hundreds of thousands
They're
of dollars.
fighting amongst themselves. This money situation is crazy. They're getting less popular by the day. Trump's win, this is where the culture matters. And hi, Cindy Lou. I don't think you're understanding what I mean by the one chance, but that's okay. You must not have watched the beginning. Anyways, this is our one chance, and we're in it. We're winning. Everything Trump's doing, it's driving them crazy, and they're falling apart as a result, which is just amazing because like the impact it's having on the party. I mean, look at these numbers. Okay, we're gonna have a minute with Harry. You guys know I love Harry, my favorite New York Jew, with his numbers. Harry and I'm going to tell you guys what's going on. He can't help himself. He depresses CNN all the time because they just cannot believe that he's actually telling the truth, because he likes numbers more than he cares about their feelings. And this is what he's got to show you.
4 swing states that, in fact, do keep track of registration by party. Look, the Republican Party is in their best position at this point in the cycle since at least 2005, in all 4 of these key battleground states. We go out to the Southwest, Arizona. How about Nevada? Republican.
Real quick, Harry says the best situation, maybe by the numbers, but the trend was not in the Republicans' favor this way in 2005. It just was not. Bush won a squeaker, and he won by winning Ohio. If he had not won Ohio, Kerry would have been president. The Republicans were not popular. They were not rising the way they are now with registrations. So I hear what Harry's saying, but the truth is that the Republican Party was losing steam by 2005. They were losing the momentum they'd built up since 9/11. That was falling apart, and that's why Obama won in such a landslide. So Harry might be right about the numbers, but he's wrong about the momentum. So I just want to say that that's an important point. We're at the beginning of the momentum, and the culture shift did not happen with Bush. There was no cultural shift. It was just the same old. Democrats, Republicans, uniparty name only. American culture was just kind of plodding along. It was not what it is today. So that context is important when you see these numbers and where we're going.
Haven't done this well since 2005. Oh, my goodness gracious, at this point in the cycle. North Carolina, I couldn't find a point at which Republicans were doing better at this point in the cycle. It's at least this century. It probably goes way back in the last century. And Pennsylvania, very similar. Republicans doing better at this point than at any point this century, at least as far as I could find. Now, what types of gains are we talking about here for the Republican Party? Well, let's compare it to this point during the first Trump administration all the way back in 2017. Look at this. The Republican Party gains in party registration compared to this point back in 2017 during the Trump first administration. In Arizona, you got a Republican gain of 3 points. Okay, how about Nevada? Up the hill we go, even though we're sticking in the Southwest, a gain of 6 points. How about, again, we come to the East Coast, North Carolina, a gain of 8 points for the Republicans. And in the Keystone State, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, again, we're talking 4.
Do you guys see how shocking those numbers are? I mean, that's absolutely incredible. 8 points. 8 points in Pennsylvania and North Carolina. That's almost 10 points. Almost a full 10%. It's insane. So anytime you hear on the news or something like Trump's not as popular as he used to be, or Trump is is failing right now, the Republicans are losing it. Look at these numbers. Polls are interesting. Polls are not concrete. Registration is concrete. Registration is the real vote. Because nobody's getting called for a poll, right? None of us are getting called for a poll, are we? But we do go and we register. We do go and we proclaim our party affiliations so we can vote. That is concrete. That is where you see what the winning really is. These numbers are nuts. He said North Carolina, this is the most trend towards in 100 years towards Republicans. Pennsylvania is now basically a red state. Nevada is basically a red state. That's wild. And we haven't even redistricted yet or seen the Electoral College shift yet because of census. So guys, again, this is our chance. Keep our foot on the gas. We have an opportunity to bury and the Democratic Party and the Rhino Republicans. We have a chance to bury the globalists and all these people, the globalists once and for all. But we have a chance to bury the elitists, the liberal cultural types in our country for 20 years. I really believe that. I think 12 years is almost a given because I think J.D. Vance is going to be a shoo-in. I really do. They're going to make it feel close. There's going to be times where it feels tight, but I'm telling you, when it comes down to going in a voting booth, J.D. Vance is going to be a killer. And I believe this is only going to trend. I think we're at a 1932 level shift. And in 1932, the Democrats came into power and held it for 20 years. I think that's what we're about to see with MAGA. And because these shifts, guys, you just can't make up those numbers. Those are huge. There's no good news in that for the Democrats at all. Not even a little bit. Okay, a couple other huge wins we got here. Trump sent out a letter to 5,000 banks today, ending any debanking of Americans. That's huge, especially after the first Trump administration. Dozens and dozens and dozens of conservatives and people out there speaking the truth were debanked. Not only deplatformed, but debanked. Imagine how crazy that is. You can't imagine how terrible that's got to feel. Trump, when he tried to fire this Fed member, and now they're saying she's going to take it to court. She's not going to step down until the court decides. Well, we have... oh no, did I just lose the internet? Let me see a second here. Oh no, there I am. That was weird. My page just shut down, so I couldn't see if I was on. Did I cut out at all, guys? Can you let me know? Hopefully not. Okay, good. So anyways, the Fed Reserve, in response to what Trump's doing though with the mortgage stuff, they've all announced they're selling all the mortgages in their portfolios. How crazy is that? So this is what we're going to see as corruption is weeded out. People selling off their stuff. So all this mortgage fraud's been going on. Why? Because it's one of those crimes that was never prosecuted, so they could get away with it. They were committing mortgage fraud left and right, and now they're all just going to sell, get out of the game. Wait till this happens with stocks. Wait till it happens with many other things. It's coming. It's coming. Trump is weeding out the corruption. And when you see why Trump's trying to get out Cook, well, not only is she corrupt, but he'll get the majority shortly on the Fed. Trump's trying to take over the Fed completely, which is a great thing because there's no reason why the Federal Reserve should be independent. It should be accountable to the people. Currently, it's not. Trump's trying to change that. And remember, it's a long shot, but there's a lot of people who believe that Trump is going to make a pass at ending the Federal Reserve and ending the IRS and income tax. This is one step closer. So again, let's keep our foot on the gas. And finally, hey, look, another huge win, guy. Cracker Barrel backed off its logo rebrand. Trump called them out today, and look, they brought back the old logo. I know that's just kind of funny, but also a sign of us winning the culture war. In the past, even in the first term, guys, even in the first term, we had where the companies, everybody would fight back against Trump. He would go after something. He'd get a couple wins here and there, but the companies mostly fought back. They were digging in on woke. It was a sign of strength. It was a sign of anti-Trump. But now they know, not only is Trump way more powerful than his first term, I would say it's not a stretch to say Trump's 5 times more powerful in this term. I truly believe that. But not only is he way more powerful, they also can see that culture has turned. In the first term, they didn't believe the culture was going to turn. They thought it was a blip. It was going to disappear. And to some extent, they were right. But no, now we've fully got the culture back. And so even a place like Cracker Barrel with its stupid logo goes back because Trump calls them out and the people call them out. So guys, we're winning so hard. Now, again, going back to the beginning of this video, I want us all to remember, like, this is great. I love the winning. I do. And we should all be stoked about it. We should celebrate our wins. It's part of the journey of finally turning things around. We should enjoy it a bit. But we cannot get complacent because we do not want to go and become this. You know, we don't want to. And we don't want to ever see this. We don't even want to let it get within sniffing distance of happening again. That it cannot happen on our watch. And I know I am dedicated to never letting our country get to this point. And I believe you guys are too. And so let's keep celebrating our wins and keep our foot to the gas. We got our one chance. And we are going to take full advantage of it. I truly believe that. And I think for my generation, as Big B said, he's one of us too. One of us, this generation that's never seen in our adult lives a prosperous America, not the way it used to be. I believe we're about to, and I believe it's going to be the best ever. And we're the first generation in history that is worse off than our parents. That's a fact. But I think it's all about to turn around. I think God is giving us a chance. We're taking advantage of it, and we're turning it around. And my hope and prayer is that it spreads to the rest of the world. But that's up to the people in the other countries. So truly hoping for that. Nels on Rumble says, the only way we keep this momentum is if they continue recognizing we the people and not take us for granted. Oh, I agree with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Brett says, yeah, they don't realize the mortgage fraud, creeds, and uncertainty in the bond market, so they want to sell. They want to go ahead. Yeah, right. MRTKO says, one of our clients on Friday was told they will close all his checking accounts with no context. 5 days to move millions. What? That's crazy. Well, hopefully what Trump just sent out saves that. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, Brett, for reminding us all. Toe Cramp says, Federal Reserve ending, structure Q. Absolutely. That's a big one. And FINRA, I love it. Lockfeld says, call like it is. The Cracker Barrel logo change will get rid of the old white man in the brand update. Oh, yeah. I mean, the marketing director in charge of it all is super left-wing woke. But she lost, you know? That's what we should take away from this, is that Cracker Barrel got desperate. They'd been taken over by lefties. They were doing some dumb stuff. They were falling apart, and they saw a chance where we're sucking. We have to do something to get our brand back up. Now let's take our chance and go for it. And it backfired on them. But the fact is they're not digging in their heels. And that is a major sign of cultural change. And I'm not saying let's go celebrate and go visit Cracker Barrel now. That's not my point. I don't care. I don't even really like Cracker Barrel, I'll be honest. I haven't gone in years, and I don't plan to go anytime soon. It's just not for me. But my point is that we were able to pressure them to change. And that's a massive change here. Tokram says, not to negate what I said, Trump could certainly take a stab of even better. Of the Federal Reserve ending? Oh, I mean, who knows? Yeah, lots of good stuff can come of it. So anyways, guys, hey, on that note, going to call it a night. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow, Members Live. I don't know what we're going to cover yet, but I do plan on doing a deep dive. I like doing those for the Members Lives. So it'll be something interesting, I promise you. Look forward to that. If you are not a member, you can get a Members Live one of two ways. The best way is to join the Patreon. Go in the description, click that link, go get a free month so you can check out our Members Lives. If not, if you prefer to watch here on YouTube, you can join on YouTube, but it's not as good because you will not get Discord access. So I recommend going through the Patreon access. Okay. So click that link. Members, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're watching right now though, please give it a like and subscribe before you leave. I greatly appreciate the support. Let's beat the algorithm at its own game. The only way I can do that is to get as much positive reinforcement on my channel as possible. But thank you guys so much. We are winning. Let's end in a prayer because prayer works. We're seeing in our nation. We refuse to stop. And so we're going to keep praying every night. So bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you, God, you gave us our one chance and we're taking advantage. Thank you for President Trump. Thank you for the people waking up. And God, I do pray it spreads because other good people across the world, especially in Western nations run by these globalists, Lord, deserve better. And so I pray for them, God, that they would find the courage and the strategies to fight back and win and take their countries back as well. Whether it's Canada, the UK, France, wherever, God, there's so many. So I pray for them as well. Pray for our president, God, and his team for protection, for boldness, and for wisdom, God, in everything they do to bring our country back. And pray, God, that the people of this country refuse to sit back anymore. We keep our foot on the gas, and we do take this country back, not just for a decade, for 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades. I pray, baby, we never look back. We have an opportunity now where because of information sharing, because of the internet, we have an excuse, or we don't have an excuse to ignore what's happening anymore, to not be involved. There's always a way to be involved, and history can change moving forward. So I do pray, God, that you lead us in that direction. That golden age we believe is possible, and that it is one that goes on for a very, very long time. We say, not on our watch will we let our country go, our culture go. And we thank you, God, for being a part of that, helping us get back. Bless everybody here. Bless those who need healing. Bless those who need finances. Bless those who need healing in the relationships, whatever it is. We bless them in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Love you guys. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you members tomorrow and everybody else Thursday night.